Today I'll be making liquid drum and bass using only free plugins, but this is a little snippet of what I'll be making today. We'll make the drum progression first and then I'll move over to the synths. Group these drums and then I'll process them. As promised, I'm only using free plugins, so all of these effects are stock or free. Without any effects, it sounds like this. And with everything enabled, it sounds like this. So if we go over the effects and turn them on one by one, we got a compressor that just glues things together. We got a transient to make it snap. We got an SSQ, this is a free analog kind of EQ, which is boosting the high end, making the high end crisper, and boosting the low end as well. We got a stock soft clipper inside of Bitwig with the drive up to 10%, which kind of distorts it a little bit, clips it, makes it sound like this. We got an OTT, which is making it sound even crisper as well. And by far the most important thing when using OTT is to turn the time or the release all the way up. Otherwise it sounds horrible. And then the depth is at, 20, 22, 23%. And lastly, we've got an EQ that's rolling off the absolute highest frequencies. I'm going to have a little build up or break section before the drop. So I'm going to introduce some of these drum sounds beforehand. Added loads of different effects to make it sound like this. So I've spent some time sound designing this respace. Let me turn off the effects. I've turned off the noise and the filter as well to show you these two oscillators. There's just two basic saws, but what's creating the movement is the detuning of one of the oscillators. If I just make this go to 0, it sounds like a basic saw wave, but when you do this technique, the two saws come out of phase and they cancel each other out at some points, and that's what's creating this kind of movement. Then I add this noise and the filter, which is cutting out the unnecessary highs. But it sounds a little muddy, so with the compressor we've cut out some of the mid frequencies and boosted the lows, so it sounds like this. And then a distortion to make it pop a bit more. For the external effects, we've got this Bark of Dog. It's a free plugin that's kind of like Waves R bass, and it boosts the low end, making it really warm. So that's this bass done, and now I'll make a progression for it. Because we're only using free plugins, I can't use my standard sidechain plugin, so I've had to manually go in and duck the volume in the places where the kick plays, and that makes the bass sound like this. So I've just done that with a basic tool and automated the volume. It's really simple. I've just quickly put some effects on the master chain, another of these SSQs, which is boosting the high end, and we've got this free clip, which is ensuring that nothing goes past 0 dB. For the lead melody, I've made this really cute pluck, which sounds like this. Once again, there are no external VSTs, there's just an EQ cutting out the lows. If we go in Vital itself, you'll see that it looks extremely simple, because it is. All we got is a basic shapes sine wave that's got a bit more harmonics on it. It's just a classic plucky sound. I'll turn on the effects individually. We got a compressor, We got a delay. We got a distortion, but it's the downsample that's really giving it that 8-bit effect. Sounds like something out of the video game. And lastly, we got a super washed out reverb. The decay is at 5.5 seconds, and we got the mix all the way up at 60. And that's it for the sound designing. Now we'll just make the melody. Okay, I spent some time writing this melody. I really like this melody because it's got that consistent rhythm. It's the same kind of motifs repeating, but the actual melody itself evolves over time and becomes a bit more emotional. I think it sounds really cool. I made this chord progression which just follows the bass notes and some notes on top, and I'm going to make a pad sound which I'll play in the second half of the drop. But the chord progression sounds like this first. Boys and girls, I think this track is done. This track really takes me back, and I had so much fun making this for this video. Let me know if you got something out of the video and if you enjoyed it in the comments down below, and I'll play the full thing through now.